In this part of series, we are going to discuss about props and state. So in the previous video, we talked about state management in React. Previous to that, we talked about props. And sometimes students, they don't get it. Like, what's the difference between prop and what's the difference between state? So that's the motive of this small tutorial, so that I can show you the basic difference between props and state, because it's very easy. It is a subtle difference, but it is really easy to understand the difference because they are kind of two separate things. You can treat them both as data. They look as data, like you pass something, right? But they solve different problems. So let's get see the example first. So what I have here is, so I have this component. If I refresh, if I click this button, you see the message is changed, right? So what's going on here is I have simple component. Greeting is a component I just built. Now, if you can see greeting, you can see that I'm passing this name prop. So, and this name prop has been used here. And we have this on click handler. So let's break it down. This is a simple component, right? The first thing is you need to see is what is prop here. So name is the current prop, and we can see that like we are passing prop. So this is probably a child component because we need to pass props from outside, right? So if you go to page.tsx file, I'm passing that here. So I'm passing the name here. If you come here, you see it is John. If I change that to Bob and save that and come back here, now the prop is changed to Bob. So this is called prop. We are passing props from parent, this is the parent component, to child component. Pretty easy. What is the state? So state is this constant greeted is the state here. And depending on what the state of greet is, we are showing different messages. So we are using the useState hook. So right now we're giving it a default value of false. Pretty easy to understand. As I told you in previous tutorial that, so if you ever want to change the greeted variable, always do it via this set greeted method. That's the way you can do, so that React tracks if your state variable changes, right? It needs to track so that it can show you the real values. So right now it is false. When you click it, what happens is you're passing a true value here. Now that value flips. Now value changes from false to true. And we have this conditional rendering here, which we, I think, already discussed. If you still have issues with conditional rendering, I think I'm going to maybe create a separate video on conditional rendering so that you can understand it deeply. Pretty simple. You have this variable. It is checking if this variable is true, run this statement. If this is false, run this statement. That's it. This is what conditional rendering is. Rendering based on condition. So because it's false, so this condition will run initially when component loads. When we click this and we flip this to true, now graded becomes true, and then this condition changes. Now name is the prop, but graded is the variable which is getting like changed from true to false, right? In this particular component, that is the state. The state of application changes because the state variable is graded. It is changes. It is kind of nothing to do with like props and state they have very different purposes, and they don't relate each other directly, but people get confused. So if you're just starting with React, that's okay if you get confused, but this is the subtle difference between state and prop in React.